Hey everyone, welcome to Sam's Sports Corner, episode 68. Alright, let's jump right into it. We got a lot of sports going on still. NFL may be over, but there's still a lot to talk about. We're going to start with a little bit of hockey time. We haven't talked hockey in a while, so we're going to jump right into it with the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are all the way back. I repeat, the Hawks are all the fucking way back because just 2 months ago, maybe even less than that, we were in the last place. 1% chance to be in the playoffs. Now, we're in a wild card spot. That's right. The Blackhawks are in a wild card spot for the season. Patrick Kane is putting his team on his back, though. All the way. He said, I'm going to do it for Matt. I'm going to do it for the fans. Like Darren Sharp, hold my dick. It's beautiful. He has a 19-game scoring streak, which is now the second longest scoring streak by an American-born player. Who was first? Oh, that's right. It was Patrick Kane with a 26-game scoring streak. He has scored in a point in 29 of his last 30 games. He had a one-game break in there. 10, one-game break, 19, 29 games in his last 30. He is on an absolute tear. He is absolutely saying he refuses. He is willing the Blackhawks to be winners. He won't let them lose. They have a big game against the Avalanche tonight. I'm very excited to see it, especially on the 39th birthday or anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. I assume we're going to have a little more Patrick Kane showing because America rules. The Miracle on Ice was probably the biggest moment in American sports history up to that point. And I assume Patrick Kane, the greatest American-born hockey player to ever live. Please at me on that. If you have any disagreement about Patrick Kane being the greatest American-born hockey player to ever live, please send in your argument so I can make you feel stupid. We're going to move right along to some NCAA hoops. Zion Williamson, overall roundly decided to be probably the first overall pick in the NBA draft. He's a freak beast. He's doing things that are just unreal as a human being. So, probably one of the biggest games of his career. He's playing UNC, the big rivalry there. Cheapest tickets were $2,956, I think it was, or $2,956, I don't know. Just shy of $2,600. And that's outrageous. First quarter, he plants his foot. The shoe literally blows apart. He just destroys it at the seams. His planting his foot so strong, just to let you know what a freak he is. But the Nike shoe explodes, and he injures his knee, sits out. All right, so there's a lot of blowback from this. The first thing I've got to say is if Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, every shoe brand in America, in the world, should just play that clip on and then put their name. So we're not going to blow out your knee. Don't worry, college athlete, NFL athlete, regular Joe drinking beers on a patio. Don't worry, we won't blow out your knee. We're not going to fail you. I'm sure whatever 8-year-old who stitched up that shoe got his head cut off, and I'm sure LeBron's very happy about it because he's a scumbag. That's right. LeBron sponsors those Nike shoes, so does Kaepernick. Just throwing it out there. Child slave labor and all. But I'm sure that kid get his head cut off, so that's great. Moving on from that, everyone is saying Zion should sit out the rest of the year. I agree. He's proven that he should be the first overall pick in the draft, and he will be no matter whether he sits out the rest of the year or not. But let's bring up another point. Is everyone's saying, oh, this is why we need to pay the players in college hoops. They're required to go to college hoops to go to the NBA. They should be paid because they could get injured and ruin their career, blah, blah, blah. First off, there are other options outside of that. Go play in the European League or whatever other league, the Chinese League, and then come over. Luka Doncic brought it up the other day. The other option is they change the rule, say they can come straight out of high school, which I think is a perfectly fine rule. But it's being brought up, this is why they should play and pay NCAA players, because he got injured, which I think is an outrageous argument, because a star player gets hurt, we should all of a sudden pay players. It's outrageous. But I will tell you the number one reason why they will not and cannot pay college players. Because universities are regulated by the federal government in Title IX laws. So if you pay Zion Williamson, let's say hypothetically $50,000 a year, which he more than deserves because he's obviously $2,500 or $2,600 a ticket, he's bringing that money in, right? Way more than that. The problem is Title IX law would require that you have to pay every single player that is on a college scholarship at that university the same amount, that same $50,000. So if you pay Zion $50,000, which is way under what he is valued, you have to pay a women's badminton player, I guess you call them players, $50,000, and they don't bring in probably $12 to the university, which is why you will never be able to pay NCAA athletes. It just doesn't work out because you have to pay everybody the same because of Title IX requirements. So I hope you hippies who are asking for them to be paid, I hope you guys enjoy your big government and the big government regulation that has been placed on these universities and other entities that forces to have to pay everybody the same instead of what they're actually owed based on their skill value. So that's why NCAA players cannot be paid. I think they should be allowed to be paid via sponsorships. Zion deserves a shoe deal as he stands right now, and he should be able to be paid and be branded for that shoe deal. YouTube videos selling themselves to whatever, I don't know, BS protein powder or pre-workout there is, whatever it is. If their clout is enough to sell something, they should be able to sell it for money. I think the NCAA should step out of the way on that. We talked about last week how the NCAA is a bunch of scumbags. The answer is not universities paying players. The answer is payers earning their own money through sponsorships and ads, just like U.S. Olympic athletes do. It's the same principle. That's how it needs to be run. Next topic real quick. Colin Kaepernick was reached out to by some teams in the AAF. He responded and said, I want to be paid $20 million, and the AAF left him out the door. Obviously because they couldn't even pay their own payroll right now. Week one, they had to get an influx of like $250 million to make payroll. I don't know what the situation is there. We're going to see how that unfolds. I'm hearing it's an investor. I'm hearing it's someone who the Carolina Panthers owner bought the team too. Or the organization as a whole. I'm trying to figure all that out. We'll see how that unfolds. But $20 million is like more than the payroll of some entire teams. So Colin Kaepernick is fucking high. He is smoking that solid greenery, that ganj, if you will, if he thinks he's getting paid $20 million. Tom Brady gets paid just over $20 million. Just over. He would be making more than 50% of quarterbacks in the league, and I just don't think he's there. He's a backup quarterback quality, and that's what he deserves to get paid in the $2 to $5 million range. That's what he's earned, and I think that's a reasonable thing to ask. However, the day after he turns down the AAF and says, I want $20 million, which is, like we said, moon landing ludicrous. He gets a plea or he gets a settlement with the NFL for an undisclosed amount of money. I assume $50 to $100 million, somewhere in that wheelhouse, just to get him to go away. It's not that the NFL thinks they wouldn't win, because proving collusion and conspiracy too is extremely hard. Extremely hard. He would have never won the case. I think the NFL just said, hey, go away. And because a lot of our fan base supports you and your cause, so if we give you X amount of money, will you just go away? And he said, yeah, I don't give a shit about my cause. I don't give a shit about my fans. All I care about is the money. And that's what it boils down to. Colin Kaepernick decided the money over his cause, and now he may put a little bit of money back into that cause. But at the end of the day, for Colin Kaepernick, it's always been about the money. He knew he wasn't going to last, and he found a way to secure the bank. Got a sweet Nike deal, got a sweet settlement from the NFL, and he doesn't have to get CTE over it. So it's a win-win for everybody. The NFL gets to move on from this BS, Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick gets a shit pile of money without literally doing any work at all. So it's a win-win, and we can all move on and get politics out of the NFL, hopefully. I hope you guys enjoyed this week, and I can't wait to see you again in the future.